Welcome once again, everybody, to Raising the Consciousness of Humanity. I am super excited today because I have the co-founders of a revolutionary new business called Reforme that is focusing on weight loss and the betterment of people's health and well-being. And today we have Heather and we have Ashley. These are the co-founders of the business. And I'm going to jump in right off the bat and read off their website. A little bio about them. Heather's passion for reform comes from her background in functional medicine, yoga philosophy, personal coaching, mind body energy development, and nutritional science, serving many years in the health and fitness industry with her own personal journey through these avenues. Her belief that your wellness is your real wealth. And Ashley, certified fitness and nutritional science and health coaching. For many years, Ashley specialized in natural weight loss, as well as had her own personal relation to the journey. And if I can share a little bit, I know a little bit about you, Ashley. You did go through a weight loss, and you also took home three trophies from a uh, fitness, actual bodybuilding contest, which is super exciting. So shout out to that. Her expertise and overall health through sustainable measure is where her passion for creating reform came in. And I also want to clarify that reform has the letter E at the end. So REFORM, and then another E at the end. So take it away. I mean, the first question is to the two of you. I don't know which one wants to go first, but what kind of inspired you that actually, your calling? What is your reason why you wanted to do this business and help people in this way?
Um, so I've been in that, like you mentioned, I've been in the health industry, health fitness industry for a while, and mostly tapped into the fitness side. I wasn't really well aware of, the clientele that, are is unable to be active and just need to achieve weight loss due to many other reasons. But I noticed that there's a lot of fad diets and a lot of, one size fits all diets in the market right now. And I just see how that can be really deteriorating to your overall health, gut health. It's not a sustainable route to weight loss. I decided to utilize my knowledge within this industry and my nutritional knowledge to reach that crowd that can't be active and doesn't have the accessibility to get up every day and get those steps in or be active or strength train. So I'm tapping into a different field of what I'm typically used to, but there's a lot of individuals that struggle with difficulty losing stubborn fat, and it can be greatly hindering on their lifestyle, the way they live their everyday life, how they interact with their kids, their family, just their quality of life overall. So that really inspired me to just help individuals achieve weight loss, no matter, their lifestyle currently and with the accessibility of being active or not. So, yeah.
Nice. And I could say I would imagine it helps people with their confidence too.
Absolutely. I mean, in all forms, weight loss is priceless. It helps with self-love, confidence, and just being able to feel better about yourself. And we say it, Heather and I both say it, but your health is your wealth. So we try to achieve inner and outer wealth with our programs here at Reform.
I like that line. Your health is your wealth. And Heather, what do you have to share about, what inspired you to do this with Ashley, this type of business?
Well, like you read, my background is in, wellness, yoga, energy. That was kind of my foundation of where I started in my own journey. But yeah, through like unraveling into fitness and more mind body connection, it all goes hand in hand with each other. For me, when your mind is healthy, your body is healthy, vice versa. We kind of feed each other. That's an energetic alignment for everything that comes through body. I feel yeah, mostly for me. I mean, to be honest, growing up in the South, as well as, obesity runs in my family genetics. So I guess, I also, to our clients, say, oh, this is probably one of the reasons, there's multiple reasons people come to us, but definitely genetics can be one thing. And that for me is kind of a big, I was nervous to have these unhealthy things in my blood system, my DNA. So that kind of, inspires me to ultimately want to be better always. But knowing that, I realized also growing up in the South, that a lot of people struggle with that. And, it is in a lot of people's genetics, especially toward that, region. And I was lucky enough to like go off west and do my little journeys and travels and things. Through that, I realized, not everyone has access to that understanding, to that knowledge, to that even that relatability that our mind and body and spirit all feed off each other. So for me, it was really just about bringing that consciousness to people and helping them to understand. When I've worked with people in the past, it feels maybe that they just don't even know, and maybe that they also feel alone when they're doing it. So a big passion for me in starting this was wanting to be able to have that support for people, to be like, hey, you're not alone, you're not weird, like this is completely normal, like let's just, sometimes you need a helping hand. So it was mostly for me to be that helping hand. When me and Ashley met, like our passion was so connected in the sense of how we want to help people together and what our backgrounds were and what we actually were passionate about. It's really hard to meet people that cares a lot about food and cares about what we're
Mhm.
putting in our bodies and things like that. So I couldn't picture a better partner to do this with.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, and what you hit on is so true. I mean, I grew up with, what the only thing we knew was this thing called the food pyramid, and
Mhm.
it was really limited. And I picked up bad habits right away. I had a weight issue well, actually, it would come and go.
Mhm.
And also, not just not knowing, having the knowledge, not knowing who to go to, where to start, diets that would work but not work. Like you'd gain your weight back. So I know this is such a very important topic from an educational perspective. And for me, it was not just looking better, but also having more energy and feeling
Yeah.
better. So I know what you're adding and the value that you're adding to the world through your business, through your personal calling and mission that you're serving in is really a huge thing because obviously we see this is a struggle for a lot of people.
Right.
Now, with this, when we talk about ideal client or the person that you serve, the people that you help, is there a certain type of person, that somebody that might be listening out there that actually is the type of person that you work with?
I'm going to say that we're here for everyone. Like, no one person is, better than any. There's not one better client. Like, everyone has different body types. So I think it's more about like figuring out what body type people are and how to help them more personalized. But I would say that, we do like to help that crowd that is maybe not as active, not as able to get into the gym. Um, Ashley, what are your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I mean, people that, work that typical 9 to 5 all day job behind a desk, they may seem, feel they don't have the time frame to go to the gym or they don't have the energy either after a long day like that. A lot of busy moms, busy people in general, people that are suffering from, joint injuries or joint pain due to being overweight. And type 2 diabetics, pre-diabetics, insulin resistant. So people that are just unable to or feel as if they're unable to achieve weight loss due to the lack of being able to be connected to a fitness industry or connected to health professionals. So that's typically the crowd but like she said, we're open to everybody.
We do
Yeah.
have a lot of women, that come to us in a place of I've tried this, I've done this, the weights came back. A lot of it, I will be honest that a lot of that comes from a hormonal imbalance that most people think these one size, fits all diets works for, yes, men, women, everything. But when a lot of women hit menopause or pregnancy and these things, the hormones do change. So we definitely have a lot of knowledge and trying to be able to help those specific people that have tried everything and they're back in this space
Yeah.
again. They really just want that change for good this time.
Absolutely. Hormone imbalances are huge. Like she mentioned, being a new mom, coming out of pregnancy and also menopause, also men with low testosterone.
Mhm.
That's a huge thing. It can make it extremely difficult to lose weight. And we focus on, balancing out those hormones again. And also, our main our main approach is a metabolic reset. So
Hmm.
that's really what we try to focus on to be able to help everybody. So this is sustainable weight loss. This is like a final stop in their weight loss journey. So they don't have to lose the 50 pounds and then find themselves, 60 pounds overweight again. We want this to be long lasting, a new lifestyle for these people to be able to just completely be life changing.
And you use the term there, I think metabolic reset or something like that. Can
Yes.
Yeah.
you expand upon that for the audience that doesn't necessarily know what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. So your metabolism tends to really adapt to what you give it. There can be a lot of things that can hinder your metabolism. As far as, if you're trying these fad diets, like let's say keto, your body can tend to just be unknown to the source of, receiving carbs. And when you increment that back in, it might not be able to process it the same as it did before because you completely removed it before. Not to mention if you are in an extreme caloric deficit with a lot of these diets on the market right now tend to put you in extreme like unhealthy calorically calorically low deficit. That's just not sustainable. You'll find yourself extremely hungry, but if you're feeding your body, extremely low calories, your body just thinks that's what it needs to survive on. That tends to just slow your metabolism down. A really good way to speed your metabolism up is to be able to exercise. We just, as we mentioned before, we know that everybody is not able to do those things. So we wanted to be able to allow people to one, lose the weight, but also keep their metabolism in check in a way that they can go back into normal, like new old foods again once they've reached their goal and have their metabolism be on track to be able to metabolize those foods and also work in a way that they won't regain all that weight back.
Nice. And so, with everybody being different, right? I'm sure you've worked with a lot of different clients. Is there, and you mentioned female challenges versus male challengers, low testosterone versus hormonal differences after menopause. Do you sit down with a client? I'm sure you'd have some sort of ways of understanding where they're at and where they want to be, like their personal goals. Is that something that happens? Is that you do?
We do have a questionnaire that, we send out after the consult and kind of get a little bit more familiar. Like, are there health issues that's coming up? Have you reached menopause? These things are important to us to know to how to better deliver a more personalized plan to them. But mostly on the consult too, like, we want it to feel very personalized. So when we meet with people, it kind of just naturally comes out. Like, it's almost kind of like an intimate space at that point where someone's coming to you and deciding that they need help. And, that intimacy can bring, oh, I'm a diabetic or I've struggled with this my whole life and these things. So it kind of just naturally comes up. But whatever people do struggle and why they are where they are and feeling like this is, I've given it my all, that's important to us too. Like, we want to know where you've been, but also how we can better deliver that service to you in regards to these conditions or these issues that you've been through and still, focus on. Our main goal, I feel like, would be we say we would love to have people come off medications if that's possible, not all medications, but we have seen a really amazing, tendency that when people get healthier within, their blood pressure lowers. These things are just natural with, treating your temple with a little bit more love. And so through that space, it is a goal of ours to help people become healthier, not just physically, but internally, coming off these medications that are weighing them down that they don't want to be on, things like that.
Hmm. Yeah, you brought up an important point because you're right. There's so many people that they're on some medication for one reason or another, and somewhere along their journey they had, whether it was genetic or whether it was something that came about because of maybe poor eating habits, health habits, or whatever. So thank you for sharing that because ultimately, I think that's the other key point is if we live healthier, happier lives, that maybe our reset, again, using that word reset, might help us get to a point where we may not have to be so dependent on another, you know, something else, a medicine or whatever, to keep ourselves living happy and healthy. And as you shared, your health is your wealth. And if
Hmm.
you pay for insurance, there's another thing going out the door there called wealth too.
Yeah.
So, very, very good point. So, I want to ask a question. As far as maybe some tips that you might want to share with our audience today, and I mean, what about that person that's out there says, I don't have time to go to the gym, or I just give me something simple or whatever. Is there anything that comes to mind that you might want to share as some key tips for our audience?
or the inevitable, like, I don't have time to change my diet. This is
Yeah.
what's easy. You know, that's what we face a lot, I feel like. But my approach, I'm gonna let Ashley, she has some good tips for this, but my approach I would say is like everyone has time. Everything with change is gonna take a little bit of time to implement. What I'm seeing in real form is that after, you know, the first hurdle of like 2 or 3 weeks, that people are like realizing, okay, this is the new norm. It's just about retraining the brain to figure out a new normal. So I would say lots of patience for sure. Ashley, you know, Ashley has some good points with it as well.
Absolutely. Retraining the brain is a huge one. You have to be in the right mindset to be able to do and commit to something like this. You have to truly want it for you and yourself. You know, I've met plenty of people that say, I want to lose weight. And then they see what that comes with, whether it comes with fitness or not, even if it's just the diet and it's too difficult or it takes too much time. Like she mentioned, this is a lifestyle change. So your body tends to really want what it's been fed in the past 3 days. So like I mentioned, if you're gonna eat like that, you know, deep fried, if I had a cookie yesterday and we want the same today, but you pass that 3 day mark, you've been nurturing yourself with nothing but whole, you know, organic maybe foods, nothing but healthy, balanced diet. Your body's just gonna continue to want that, and you'll see all the plus benefits, and that's when it really becomes a lifestyle. Also, if you focus on a little bit more portion control in your diet and eating, whether you want to eat like the bigger meals a day, but less of those, or the smaller meals a day, you can find yourself in a better routine as far as like, hey, I know that I eat at this time during, you know, I know that I eat at 12 p.m. today or every day. And your body just tends to recognize that, and it will start sending you signals like, hey, it's 12, I'm hungry today. You know, we typically eat at this time. That's really when it forms and becomes a lifestyle. And then it's not so difficult because it's really what your body wants now. And if your body wanted that initially, then it wouldn't have been a big commitment in the first place. That's why she mentioned patience and being in the right mindset. And that's why that's extremely important.
Nice. Well, the portion control, I think you taught me that, Ashley. And to the audience out there, full disclosure, I am your dad. So we got that out of the box. And I remember you struggled a little bit with your weight, and yet I don't know how many pounds. You have to remind me how many pounds you lost.
90.
Well, that was quite a bit. And actually you were so focused and you were able, and it blew me away, blew mommy away, all of us. Like you were able to go into this Ironman competition and take home, well, I think it was 2 second places and one third place trophy. And so as a proud dad, I think you really have proven that you know your stuff. And coming back to portion controls, that's one thing I've learned from you. So Heather, I did learn something from my daughter. And once you, I could share from my personal experiences, once you do adjust your portions, it seems like it's a habit. You're not to say that if a pizza wasn't put in front of me right now, I wouldn't want to eat the whole thing. But honestly, I've been really good with my portions, and that's made a big difference.
It's
Absolutely.
it's conditioning technically. I mean, sorry, Ashley, to cut you off, but the conditioning, it's not even necessarily something that someone is doing wrong, I would say. I don't like to say like, oh, you're doing it wrong or your portions are wrong. It's technically like, sadly, you know, I love our country, everything like that, but America has given us, you know, a lot of freedom. We're blessed for that, but with that freedom, it came into the portions becoming larger at restaurants, you know. It became like eating more frequently, more often, more access to things. With that, you know, that's a blessing, of course. But if you look at other countries and actual like dieting, like you talked about the chart that you're aware of, and these things that are actually given to you in like elementary school, a correct portion size normally for most people would be like a palm size or, you know, a fistful of things. And most people tend to get about two of those. So that goes back into the metabolic reset thing that she was talking about, is that by doing this to your body thinks this is the norm when it's really not. And you're allowing your body to become obese. You're allowing more fats, more things into your body that necessarily it doesn't even know how to process. You know, if you picture even long time ago, we didn't have all these things that are high access, fast food, all these things. Our body wasn't used to metabolizing that. But mostly I would say it's no one's fault, but when you do study a little bit, you do realize like, okay, we need to go back to more of a normal foundation with our food. And so it's really just about allowing your body to catch up to that, remember that, become in a homeostasis with that portion. And like, we both said balance and patience for sure.
It's an adjustment for sure, because as she mentioned, like the portion size are like doubled now. Your stomach stretches. So when you're
Yeah.
fed a normal portion, you think you're starving, and it takes a little bit of time. In reality, it's what your body really needs. And if you take the time, that 3 day period for some people, it may take a little bit longer, but that becomes the new normal. Your stomach tends to shrink down and be like, this is actually fulfilling. This is all I needed. I didn't need that big plate of food. I don't feel gross afterwards. I'm not bloated after every meal. And that's a really great feeling. And a lot of people have a hard time, they say putting the fork down when there's food still on the plate. And it's really good to recognize, hey, I'm not hungry anymore. I have no need to eat. I can eat later. Or when I'm hungry in a couple hours, I can eat then. And that's what we really mean when we talk about portion control. Everything doesn't need to be in these big portions, or you don't have to finish your plate. Being able to recognize those hunger signals for sure.
Nice. Yeah, what brings up the vision for me is like those buffets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna get as much as I can. I paid my price. I'm gonna like get one plate, two plate. I want everything on the buffet. And that's what you're teaching is really, really so true. Having that practice in our life of portion control, of being mindful about what we're eating. And, people need coaching with that. And that's kind of what you do. Both of you bring coaching, you bring the educational element, you bring the motivational element. And obviously, from what I'm hearing too, is you're really compassionate souls, because this is not an easy journey for some people, and they're putting a lot of trust in you and stuff. So I really appreciate you being on today and sharing some of these gems of wisdom around,
Mm-hmm.
weight loss and around health and well-being, and health being your wealth. Any last things you want to share, or if not, if you don't have anything more to share, how do people reach you? How do they reach out to you? How do they connect with you?
I will say last part of sharing is just like we have a target audience, but we are here for everyone. We like to be everyone's cheerleaders. Weight loss can be very scary, intimidating. So if someone were to approach us, like, we got you. We're family. We're here for you as your friends. It doesn't have to be such a harsh approach to weight loss. Like it can be fun for people. We like to, like you said, really be supportive with people. So that's kind of, if you can find us and you do find us, I hope that you can. And we hope, we like to say you become a part of our community. It's a community. It's not just a targeted approach. It's really about helping people. So you can find us at reform.life, and that's also our Instagram.
That's our Instagram, our Facebook, and we're on TikTok as well. And our phone number is 205-855-0503. And just in addition to what she said and what you said as well, we are here for everybody. And, yes, we are health coaches. We want to help. We identify as that, but we want to give this information to people to be able to make this a long lasting lifestyle. We are teaching, we are with you. We're going through this process with you. So you can, take this education, take this information and apply it and help, maybe your family, or continue to live this lifestyle and live a long lasting, healthy, sustainable life.
Nice. And you have a special offer also, right?
Oh yeah. Right now we're doing free consultations and 10% off when signing up. So yeah, we're excited. Book a free consultation.
Come join our
Awesome.
community.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna type that on the screen so people see that, but it is Reform remember with the E on the end, .live is the website, and of course the social media platforms that you're on. I'm gonna be posting this out there so people will be able to see it. But I really, really am grateful for the two of you coming on today. And I think this is one area that obviously I think can make a huge difference in the impact of lives that are out there. So thank you, Heather. Thank you,
Thank you so
Ashley.
much. Thank you for having me.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having
Bye-bye
me.
now.
Bye.
Bye.